Does the narcissist in your life insult you over and over? Like, there's oftentimes these insults in the relationship that just stop sounding like insults and get very confusing. Like, they hit you first off like a slap in the face, and it's like obvious. It's sharp, it's cutting, it's like, wait a second, what just happened? But after a while, it starts to blend into the background just like regular noise. You don't even get to the place that you flinch anymore with the insults that he gives you, the words that he says, the names that he calls you, because you've been conditioned to expect the insults and to even welcome them in your life. You've been trained to believe that it's normal to be insulted this way. Let me be clear to you today, it's not. It's never normal. But that's how he's conditioned you, and that's how he's disguised his contempt over you to be able to keep putting you down over and over. If you're new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist to provide awareness of narcissistic abuse and help women just like you who are trapped in toxic relationships find closure, clarity, and freedom. The goal inside of what I do is to help you break the trauma bond, eradicate the emotional triggers that are leaving you hostage in this relationship, and actually find your purpose and your value in you, not in him and not in his validation. The compliments and the criticisms oftentimes coincide in ways to be degrading and putting you down, because it's not always obvious. It's not always at a place where he comes out swinging with the obvious stuff, with the obvious things that are hurting you. Oftentimes it's small little steps, chipping away at you slowly, just one insult at a time. One insult, one comment, one dig here, one small thing that's affecting you. They might be really small. They might be really tiny. Something you wouldn't even expect. Like, wow, are you really going to wear that? Is that what you're going in? You think that's okay? Gosh, you're so sensitive. I was just joking. Can't you take a joke? What's the big issue? What's the big problem? Seriously, you're useless. I kind of feel like you're stupid sometimes. Each one might be small enough to be passed off just slightly as no big deal. But when you start adding everything together, they break you down, piece by piece. You can do the same thing even to yourself. You tell yourself, wow, I was stupid because I missed that appointment, or I was dumb because I missed this. Well, take out what you actually did or didn't do and just realize what you're calling yourself. You're calling yourself stupid and dumb. The narcissist knows exactly what he's doing, which is why he keeps doing it, because it keeps you stuck inside this limbo. The insults that he has, they're not just random, they're calculated. He's perfectly doing this, making sure it's designed to dominate and control you. To remind you over and over that you're no better than him. You're actually beneath him. You're actually less than. In fact, you're never quite enough. Like, no matter what you do, you should be grateful that he's even tolerating you, that he's even in your life, that he's blessing you with his presence. It's not playful banter. It's not good-natured teasing of him making you feel a certain way. It's psychological warfare where he's emotionally abusing you piece by piece. And the longer you stay inside of this, the longer you believe his lies. The longer you internalize his voice, you start to think that that's actually what's going on. You start to carry his contempt in your own head. How many of you, like down the road, whether you're in or out of the relationship, you still hear him talk in your head? Like, he still has words and phrases that come in. I was talking to a client the other day, and one of the things that she felt is that she was stupid when it came to finances, simply because that's what he had ingrained in her. But when we started building out a plan and writing it all out, she was like, oh yeah, I got this. Why? Because she didn't believe in the confidence she had in herself, because she was trained by him over and over. She got to a place where she was doubting herself over and over. You get to a place where you're doubting yourself even before he opens his mouth. You almost hear the insults. You already know how the whole conversation is going to play out, and so you second guess every decision you even make. You shrink. You become less than. You get to the place that you apologize for things that aren't even your fault. You shrink back. You pull back, because over time his insults become just part of your emotional DNA, part of how you're actually wired or operated. You don't recognize how deep the damage is, how much it hurts. I've had clients that could recite word for word the exact insults their partner was going to say. Like, for decades, like, she could go back and remember every single thing that he'd said to her. Why? Because they're visceral and they hurt. You're too needy. You're too fat. You're too stupid. No one would ever love you. You're never going to find anyone better. This is as good as it gets. You think you can find it better than me? It stays lodged in their chest, almost like a splinter that never heals, that never gets out. And the hardest part inside of this is it keeps going through the head over and over and over. And most people just hear it in their head. They don't even realize how toxic it is because it's all they've ever known. This might be all that you've known in the relationship. Maybe you grew up in a household where insults were normal, where it's just shrugged off as being joking. Maybe your parents used criticism as currency to be able to get you and fashion you the way that they wanted you to. Then you enter a relationship with a narcissist, it feels familiar. It feels like home. Oftentimes you're in a relationship with someone who's toxic and it feels normal. That's the problem. That's the trap. It's not just about the words that's happening. It's also about the conditioning because you've gotten used to it. You've gotten used to being insulted, devalued, belittled, like everything has been putting you down over and over and over so much that you start to make excuses about the insults. They're just stressed. They don't really mean it. It's just how he talks. It's just how he communicates. Like he doesn't really mean that. It's not that big of a deal. But the brutal truth inside of this is healthy relationships don't operate like that. Like, I know for some of you, it might feel weird for me to say that, but in a healthy relationship, if you joke around, even if you tease, there's still an underlying safety that you're not going to abuse the other person. Like, without question, you know, this person actually loves me, respects me. But inside of a toxic relationship, you have no clue. Like, you have no clue when the moment is going to happen when he's going to hurt you. In a healthy relationship, there's no sneer, there's no contempt, there's no psychological daggers hidden behind a smile, an emotional manipulation that's keeping you stuck. That's the difference between healthy and narcissistic, because the narcissistic insults aren't about connection, it's all about control. You're noticing a theme. It's all about control. It's all about keeping you small, about stripping away your identity, your sense of worth, one comment at a time, so you never feel strong enough to walk away. And you always have to stay in the relationship, no matter what. When you call him out, when you try to talk to him about it, he gaslights you. Says you're overreacting, says you're reaching, says you're being too sensitive, says like, why would you even focus on that? Like, you're the problem. It's not me, you're the problem. And that's the name of the game. It's the mind game. It's the back and forth. It's the stabbing you in the back and confusing you that you stabbed yourself. It's like you doubting yourself, questioning your own reality so that you stay trapped in the same exact cycle over and over and over again. And no matter what, it's hard to be able to break free. But the reality is you don't have to keep living like this, regardless of where you've been or how long it's been. You don't have to keep swallowing the insults. Like you're pretending like they don't cut, but every time you swallow them, you're getting more cuts down your throat because every time you justify it, every time you downplay it, every time you tell yourself it's not that big of a deal, you lose another piece of you. It gets ripped away. And I know you don't want that for you, but that right now is the choice that you're seeing and that you're making, because once you wake up, it's hard to stay in the same position. This is why some people don't want to admit they're in a toxic relationship. They'd rather excuse it away. It's complicated. It's an issue. They'd rather add excuses than would deal with the facts about their relationship. Because if you looked at the facts, you have to do something different. Because most people don't want to admit they're in an abusive relationship and say they're okay with it. They want something different. They want healing. But the problem is most people don't realize that the insults are never just insults in a toxic relationship. They're all used as control tactics, way to manipulate and control you. To be able to put little emotional landmines laid out to keep you walking carefully on eggshells, constantly checking yourself, making sure you're following in the footsteps that he tells you to follow in, questioning who you are, your worth, your value. But it's not about the words. It's about the tone, the body language, the sneer, the eye roll. It's about the heavy silence after he delivers the jab, waiting just to see, how's she going to respond? How will she shrink? How will she be a little bit different? Will she laugh it off? Will she fight back? What will she actually do? You see, every reaction becomes part of the game that he's playing. He's watching. He's measuring. He's testing your boundaries, testing your limits, testing the waters to see what is going to happen. How much are you going to tolerate? Tolerate that much? Okay, let's do a little bit more. That much? Okay, let's do a little bit more. Small criticism snowballs into full-blown verbal abuse. And oftentimes it'll go even farther. Might be small. Why are you always so emotional? Can't you take a joke? Like the small little phrases that you don't think are that big of a deal. The small little things that make you feel like you're overreacting. But over time, it starts to escalate even more. It becomes bigger and bigger of like just calling you straight out of like, you're pathetic. Like no one else would ever put up with you. Like you should be grateful I even do. You'll never be enough. I can't believe you do this. Then it becomes your reality. It becomes what you start to believe, and you stop trusting your gut, you stop trusting yourself, you start believing maybe you are too much, maybe you are too needy, maybe you are too broken to do anything. Because when somebody you love repeatedly cuts you down, it's hard to not start interpreting that and internalizing that message, thinking it must be me. Many people that I talk to can't even look in the mirror without hearing his voice in their head. I have clients who second guess every single decision, that came understanding, hey, I'm confused about all of the years, because all the years insults rewired their sense of self and confused them of who they even were. Women that are stuck trying to figure out and picked up the mess of the toxic relationship and thinking constantly that they're the ones with the issue, they're the ones with the problem. Because if you're constantly focusing on fixing yourself, you're not focused on his abuse. That's the whole name of the game. Distraction. Smoke and mirrors, keep you confused to keep control. If you're too busy trying to avoid the next insult, too busy contorting yourself to be good enough for him, you won't have the bandwidth to realize how deeply he's actually manipulating you. It's classic narcissistic control, and it's stemmed by this piece of confusion. Distract you and still control you. Confuse you, still control you. The insults that he's given, they're not harmless. They don't just bruise your ego and make you feel bad. They're slowly dismantling your sense of safety and your sense of self. Your identity is slowly disappearing. The ability to trust yourself, disappearing. And maybe you're at the place right now where you're stuck and you're wondering, but I give it right back. Like, we both insult each other. It's just how we are. It's just how we're wired. We're just passive aggressive. It's just a habit right there. And I want you to understand, like, if you're engaging in insult wars just to survive, just to keep from being annihilated, it's not a sign of fun, and it's not a healthy relationship. It's just another form of the trauma bond. It's another place of being in survival mode, thinking that it's going to get better, but it never does, because healthy relationships don't require you to weaponize your words as armor. Don't require you to put up walls to protect yourself and constantly defend yourself against his verbal attacks. In a healthy relationship, even in conflict, there's respect there, but you don't even see respect. You don't even see safety. You don't even see the kindness. Why? Because it keeps escalating. In a healthy relationship, there's understanding that words matter, that they can heal or they can wound. They can help or they can cut. But for a narcissist, the words are a little bit different because he doesn't care. He'll zero in on your deepest insecurities. He'll put them out in display and he'll beat them up. Your weight, your intelligence, your parenting, your dreams, your position at work. He'll use whatever he can to cut you down, to make you feel less than, to keep you under his thumb of like, nope, you're not going to get any better. And then you make a move, you flinch, you cry, you try to pull away. He doubles down even more. Because it's his turn to be able to mock you for being weak. Calling you out for being dramatic, telling you that you need to toughen up and actually grow up. Because it's never about understanding you and him caring and loving you. It's about making you and breaking you to be the person that he wants you to be. And the problem is, over time, you just start adapting. You shrink, you minimize, you rationalize, you excuse. You try to figure out different ways to feel better about the situation. Well, they only say that when they're stressed out. Like, he only attacks me like that when he has a rough day at work. Like, that's just how he fights. Like, everyone does that. It's just how he is. That's how he's wired. It's because of his past. That's how he jokes around with his friends, with his brothers. But deep down, you know that there's something better. There's a lump inside your throat every time he throws an insult at you. And you feel the pain inside your chest every time he sticks the knife in a little bit further. And sometimes you wonder with hypervigilance of like which version of him you're going to get today. Am I going to get the nice one? Am I going to get the mean one? You might feel yourself disappearing slowly but surely, vanishing, becoming smaller, quieter, less than you actually are, because he's slowly eroding who you are with a constant verbal assault on you, tearing you down piece by piece by piece. This is not normal. This is abuse. This is not healthy. This is toxic. And you're not crazy for feeling like something's off, feeling like something's weird. You've just been conditioned to accept crumbs. You've been conditioned to accept all of the things he's given you, to believe that you don't deserve respect, you don't deserve safety, you don't deserve his kindness, but you do. He's unwilling to give it to you. You always have been worthy, but he's unwilling to see that and acknowledge that. He knows exactly what he's doing, which is why he keeps doing it, to control you and manipulate you. He's not just throwing out insults just for fun and games. It's not just random. It's not just accidental that it's happening. It's intentional to be able to keep you in control and keep you in line. He's chipping away at you piece by piece by piece, because the more he can tear you down, the less likely you are to leave, which means he still has you under lock and key. The less likely you're going to believe that you even can leave, that you can even leave. Because he has power and dominance over you. He ultimately has control about who you are, how you're showing up. Confusion runs the ship, because when you're doubting you, when you're doubting your worth, you don't do anything. You just look for validation from him. That's the only place that you get it. And when he withholds it and pulls it back, you start to spiral out, because that's where you get it from. That's how he keeps you hooked over and over and over. Are you seeing this? Like, he's keeping you small every single day. The confusion fuels the control, keeping you stuck. Then you might be at this place and you're wondering, you're thinking like, it's not that big of a deal. It's just words. It's not like he hits me. It's not actual abuse because he's not punching me in the face. You need to understand, words can still be violent. Words can still leave bruises that you can't see, but your soul can feel for a long period of time. The words change the way you view yourself, the way you move through the world, the way you adjust and grow and develop, and it creates scars that are invisible, but they bleed into every single aspect of your life. Your confidence, your relationship, your career, even just your ability to trust yourself. The insults don't stay neatly contained, just these are in the relationship, but not out there. They're going to seep into every single part of your reality. They're going to shape part of your identity. They're going to influence every single aspect. And you've spent years absorbing all these insults. You probably don't even realize how much of your self-worth has been built on the foundation of someone else's contempt. How much of it is built on his validation. It doesn't have to be that way. Like, you can tear that foundation down. You can actually rip it out, and you can rebuild the life that you actually want to rebuild. You can learn to recognize the insults for what they actually are. His own projection of his insecurity, projecting and pushing onto you, just harping and harping and harping, because that's what it is at the core. He's insecure. A narcissist isn't just insulting you because you're weak. He's insulting you because he's weak. He's insulting you because he doesn't want to deal with himself. He doesn't want to be honest and authentic with who he actually is. So it's easier to project than it is to actually deal with. He needs to keep you beneath him so he feels powerful, so he feels better about himself. And if you push back and if you stop accepting it, the moment you stop shrinking, you stop contorting yourself like a pretzel to be what he wants you to be, you stop internalizing all the words that he's saying, you can actually start reclaiming your power and grow, heal, and develop you. This journey of breaking the trauma bond, it's not easy. It's one of the hardest ones. It takes work to actually unlearn the conditioning, to rewire the script that's been playing in your head for years, but it is possible. It is possible, and you have to start naming it, calling it out for what it actually is. The gaslighting, the abuse, the manipulation, like the insults, they're not just a joke. It's not just how we communicate. It's abuse. Strategic, calculated, verbal abuse that's manipulating and assassinating who you actually are. You have to recognize that no healthy relationship requires you to tolerate being torn down day after day after day. That love shouldn't be laced with contempt as cyanide. The respect doesn't come with conditions that you have to meet. And maybe that realization feels terrifying right now as you start to see that this is you and this is this relationship and this is exactly what you're going through. Because if you accepted these insults or abuse, you might have to accept the next step, which means that you actually deserve better. You can't just wake up to the reality and then stay, because you deserve peace. You deserve happiness. You deserve a relationship built on mutual respect, kindness, safety, love. And if you don't have that, it might be time to leave. But stepping into that truth, into that reality, might mean that you need to set boundaries, might mean that you need to let go, might mean that you need to walk away and heal yourself. And that's terrifying. You have to go back and you have to start unlearning years, decades of believing that you're only worth the amount that he tells you you are. But I need you to understand that it's worth it for you to leave. It's worth it for you to heal, because you are worth it. You're valued, you're loved, you're respected, but not by him. You don't have to keep living in survival mode, hoping that it's going to get better. You don't have to keep swallowing the insults and pretending they don't leave scars as they cut you, keep going down. You don't have to keep shrinking yourself to fit inside of someone else's fragile ego so that he feels better about himself and you feel less than. You get to choose differently, but it happens that it is your choice. You see, once you watch a lot of my videos, you start to realize, hey, I can actually see and identify with it. This is the awareness piece, but the awareness only gets you so far. It only gets you to the door. The wake up piece means you have to realize that if you do not wake up to this reality, it will kill you. It will leave you out on the streets. It will leave you destitute. It will leave you as a shell of a person. As you stare back in the mirror down the road, you will have no clue who you are anymore because the version of you is lost, is gone, broken and hidden underneath. Are you that person today? Are you ready to actually heal and change and develop who you are? Or do you want to turn a blind eye, make excuses, and have the same stuff happen to you over and over again? Or are you ready to actually have something different? Like if you're done actually living underneath the weight of someone else's words, if you're done waiting for him to validate you, I want you to take the next step. This isn't just hey, let's go here and let's work on this. No, you need this because otherwise if you don't, where are you going to be another 5 years if he keeps cutting you the way that he is verbally? If he keeps emotionally manipulating you, where will you be? What will your life be like? Will you still be here? Will you still have any motivation? Will you still have any drive? Will you be depressed? How is it going to impact you? How is it going to impact your kids? How is it going to impact the people around you? Where's your mindset going to be if you continue to let him degrade you and put you down over and over and over again? This isn't just a piece of, hey, I want better. It's a piece that you need better because you have not been given that at all. And he keeps degrading and belittling and putting you down and you keep accepting it. But now with the awareness and the awakening, you have a choice to make. The choice is the decision of what will you actually do to be free? Will you spend the time working on you or will you run away from it? Will you excuse it or will you embrace it and say, hey, something needs to change? When you're ready to make that change, I want you to go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Spend a couple minutes, watch the video, fill out the application, book a call. Let's get you out of survival mode, out of this cycle, and out of the excuses that you've been giving yourself for too long being stuck in this relationship and actually get you free. Because the insults stop when you decide that they stop. You're stronger than what you think. But the initial piece has to be a choice. For you to make a decision that you're worth it. If that's you today, click on the link below. Let's have a conversation. You've been told it's all your fault and that makes you feel crazy. No one understands you and that leaves you in a place of being alone. You've tried to break free multiple times and that leaves you helpless because nothing you've done has actually worked. It hasn't actually got you free or liberated from this toxic relationship. So you feel crazy, alone, and hopeless. Guess what? That's a lie. Because all it is how you've been raised and conditioned inside of this abusive relationship over and over. And as a result, you've sacrificed your growth, you've sacrificed your worth, and you've been trapped inside of a toxic relationship. What if I showed you the path to freedom? A way for you to actually get free mentally and emotionally from the toxicity that's happening right here, right now. You deserve more. You deserve to be able to heal. And I want to help you with that. If I can help you with that, go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Schedule a call there and let's talk. One thing you might not realize is that narcissists actually are afraid of abandonment. Like, do you ever notice how the narcissist is the one who always threatens to leave, who always threatens to walk out, but the second you start pulling away, he flips out. Like one day he's at the place where he's cold, he's detached, and he makes you feel like you don't even matter, like your presence is inconvenience. And next, he's panicking, he's raging, he's love bombing, he's doing almost anything and everything he can to pull you back in. And you're at a place where you're left wondering, like, what the hell just happened? Like, why am I struggling with this? What is going on? Does he love me? Does he not love me? And that's exactly what's happening to you. Like, you got to a place that you became a threat to him. Not because he loves you, but not because he cares, but because he's afraid of losing you, and he's afraid of losing control over you. He's afraid of losing control of the narrative that he's a good guy, that he has a committed relationship, that he has a connected family. And when he loses control, majority of narcissists cannot handle that.